There is an old saying in my village. It says, "A family is like a forest. When you are outside, it is dense. When you are inside, you see that each tree has its own space." It means that from a distance, a family looks like one solid thing, but inside, every person stands alone. They have their own light, their own shadows, their own unspoken stories. This proverb reminds us that what holds a family together is often as complicated as the roots of ancient trees, tangled and hidden deep beneath the earth. It is a wisdom that has been passed down through many generations, carried in the hearts of our elders. We often wonder what keeps these trees standing strong, side by side. Is it the open air that they share? Or is it the quiet earth that holds their secrets? In our lives, we face a similar question. What truly breaks a family? Is it the heavy weight of secrets, the things left unsaid that grow in the dark? Or is it the sudden, sometimes harsh light of openness that reveals things we are not ready to see? I have sat with many families over many years, by the warmth of the cooking fire, and I have listened. I have heard stories of secrets that acted like a slow poison, quietly eroding the bonds of trust until nothing was left. But I have also heard stories where a revealed truth fell like an axe, splitting a family right down the middle, leaving a wound that could not be mended. So, the question remains with us, a constant companion in our lives. My name is not important. Think of me as a grandmother, one who has seen many seasons come and go. I am here not to give you answers, but to sit with you and look at this question together. We will explore it gently. We will not rush. We will look at how the threads of silence and truth are woven into the fabric of our families. We will examine the patterns they create, the strength they provide, and the places where they might unravel. This is not a journey of judgment. It is a quiet reflection, a shared space to consider the delicate balance between what we hide and what we reveal. In the time we have together, we will move through this story in chapters. Each part of our journey will be marked for you, like a signpost on a familiar path. Think of them as act cards, each one opening a new door into this complex house we call family. This structure gives us space. It allows us to consider each idea carefully. It is a slow and deliberate way of learning. As we walk this path, notice the world around us. Our story will be painted with the colors of the earth and the sky. These visuals ground us and connect us to something timeless and real. Let us begin. Silence in a family does not arrive like a loud clap of thunder. It does not announce itself. It begins softly, like the first drop of rain you barely feel on your skin. It starts with a single unspoken word, a question a child learns not to ask, a story a mother decides not to tell, a father's sigh that takes the place of a difficult conversation. We choose silence to protect someone's feelings. We choose silence to avoid a quarrel. We choose silence to hide a shame we feel we cannot bear to share. Once silence has found a foothold, it begins to build its own house within the family. It becomes a habit, a reflex. The family develops a rhythm of avoidance. The family calendar has its own invisible anniversaries of sorrow or shame, days that pass with a heavy quiet but no shared remembrance. I remember a family in a neighboring village. The grandfather had lost his land many years ago in a dispute. The shame was so great for him that he forbade anyone from ever speaking of it. The grandchildren would walk past that very piece of land on their way to the river, feeling a strange pull, a sense of loss they could not name. The silence had been passed down from one generation to the next, a heavy formless inheritance. This kind of silence is often mistaken for peace, but underneath this calm surface, the connections are growing thin. The silence creates distance. It is like sitting together in the same room, but each person is lost in their own thoughts, unable to reach out and truly touch the other. The shared space of the family becomes a collection of individual solitudes. Think of the energy it takes for a mother to pretend she does not know her son is drinking too much palm wine. Her heart is heavy with worry. When you are taught not to speak about your grief, your anger, your fear, you start to believe those feelings are wrong. The silence that seemed like a safe harbor turns out to be a slow, quiet poison. It does not break the family with a sudden, violent crack. It erodes, grain by grain, until the foundation is too weak to hold the weight of its unspoken history. When a secret is too large to be simply unspoken, it forces a person to create a second self. This is the beginning of a double life. A man might have another family in a distant town, a secret he has kept for 20 years. To his wife and children at home, he is the devoted father who travels for work. To his other family, he is also a loving father who must leave for long periods. He lives two truths built on a single great lie. The energy to maintain two lives is immense. Every word must be carefully chosen. The person who keeps a secret about a serious illness, pretending to be healthy and strong for their family, may start to feel like a ghost in their own life. A double life is like a wall built with faulty clay. From a distance, it may look strong and solid, but up close, you begin to see the cracks. Family members, especially children, are experts at sensing these cracks. They sense the gap between what is said and what is felt. Children in a house with a big secret often learn to distrust their own perceptions. They feel something is wrong, but the adults act as if everything is normal. The person leading the double life lives in constant fear, hyper-aware of every small detail that could expose them. Unspoken tension leads to small arguments about unrelated things. A wife might pick a fight about money, not because they are poor, but because she senses dishonesty she cannot name. No family lives on an island. We live in a community, a village, interconnected like the threads of a kente cloth. A secret kept within a family rarely stays there forever. It seeps out. This creates a second public performance the family must endure. They know people whisper as they walk to the river. When a double life is revealed, everyone must reevaluate the past. Children must view their childhood through a painful new lens. The cost of a double life is a debt that can never be fully repaid. It is a debt of lost time, lost trust, lost connection. The years spent hiding, pretending, and worrying are years that can never be recovered. This debt is passed on to the next generation. Children who grow up in the shadow of a double life carry the consequences with them. Trust, once shattered, is not easily mended. Forgiveness may be possible, but forgetting is not. The family portrait is forever changed. The attempt to hold the family together through secrecy is often the very thing that ensures it can never be truly whole. It is a profound and lasting cost, a debt paid in the currency of the heart. So, if secrets can be a slow poison, is the answer to simply open every door and let all the truths rush out at once? When truth is used like a weapon, it hurts people. It creates more wounds instead of healing the old ones. Think of it not as a sword, but as a bridge. A bridge is something you build carefully, piece by piece, to connect two separate places. It must be strong enough to hold the weight of the people who will cross it. It requires a solid foundation on both sides. Safety, trust. Therefore, the first requirement of openness is safety. It is the assurance that your truth will be received with care, even if it is difficult to hear. For openness to work, speaking the truth is only half of the journey. The other half, the more difficult half, is listening. In my village, when a serious matter needs to be discussed, the elders do not rush it. They let the speaker tell their story without interruption. True listening asks us to suspend that instinct to argue. It asks us to simply receive the other person's truth as their own. When we truly listen, we are saying, I see you. I hear you. You are not alone in this. Openness does not happen all at once. It is a journey of small, courageous steps. It might be choosing to answer a child's question honestly instead of turning it away with silence. When a small truth is shared and it is met with listening and acceptance, it creates a positive experience. It shows everyone involved that honesty does not have to be dangerous. This journey requires a guide. Often, this is the role of an elder, someone who has the wisdom and the patience to help a family navigate this difficult terrain. It is not about a single event, but about a daily practice of choosing small, courageous acts of honesty and listening. This conversation is not yet about monogamy or polygyny. It is about honesty. And what happens when desire is hidden instead of structured? Why does honesty feel so dangerous? The first reason is simple. It is the fear of what comes after the truth is spoken. We fear the truth will cause a wound that cannot be healed. We fear it will break the family apart forever. We are afraid of losing the love of the people who matter most to us. We fear losing our place in the family, being cast out and left to stand alone. We also fear the punishment that might follow. Sometimes it is quiet and cold, a small, chilling distance. In many of our cultures, the family is a unit with a name and a reputation to uphold. The honor of the family is a precious thing. A daughter who has been wronged by a powerful relative may be told to stay silent, not because her pain is not real, but because speaking out would bring shame and conflict to the clan. The one who carries a secret quietly is seen as strong, as someone who is willing to bear a private burden for the good of the family. In contrast, the one who speaks out, the truth teller, can be seen as selfish or destructive. Another deep fear is the risk of being misunderstood. You fear that when you finally speak the truth, others will not see the complexity. Think of a man who has been secretly sending money to his struggling birth family. He is not trying to deceive. He is trying to navigate a difficult conflict of loyalties. But he fears that if he tells his wife, she will not hear his struggle. She will only hear, "You lied to me." The more powerful person has the ability to define the story. They can say, "You are remembering it wrong." It is easier to discredit the messenger than to face the uncomfortable message. So how do we make honesty feel less dangerous? This is where the wisdom of our traditions can offer a path. The Council of Elders. Bringing a matter to the elders changes the dynamic completely. The truth is placed in the hands of people whose role is to seek balance, justice, and reconciliation. The elders act as a bridge between the two sides, preventing either one from falling into the chasm of anger and blame. They can offer rituals for confession, for forgiveness, ancient paths, showing the family there is a way through the crisis. The elder's presence is a promise that the goal is not to destroy, but to heal. We began our journey with an old proverb that a family is like a forest. We have walked through this forest together, looking at the dark, tangled roots of secrecy and the bright, sometimes harsh light of openness. We have seen that the solution is not as simple as tearing down all the walls at once. True openness requires the careful, patient building of a bridge. So, which one truly breaks a family, openness or secrecy? Perhaps the question is not the right one. Perhaps the breaking comes not from the secret or the truth itself, but from how we hold them. A family can be broken by a secret that is allowed to fester like a poison. It can also be broken by a truth that is thrown like a stone. The path forward, the path that keeps the forest healthy, is one of balance. As we leave this path for now, let us remember that families, like forests, can heal. They can learn to let in the light without burning down the trees, and to hold their secrets with grace, not with shame.